every city basically was a star city. It had these stars around them, but they were all walled, but also somatic shapes. These are the moats, we're told, right? Because we're all taught that castles and, you know, were these square buildings with a moat. But when we can see them from above, there's these intricate somatic patterns, and clearly you can see why we call them star forts, because they look like stars.
So here's one in Portugal, one of the star forts, the huge amount of terraforming around it. Amazingly, this one is still in pretty much pristine condition compared to the destruction of most of the ones you find today.
Piano notes. As you can see, these are all cymatic. A sharp, B, C, and they're all these cymatic shapes. These are cathedral windows, this fine here. These are, you know, rose windows, or all in cathedrals. And these are cymatic patterns, which are created through frequency, so either harmonics or intention. Down here we have, this is our DNA, so these are fractals or cymatic patterns of our DNA. This is what we get when it's good intention. We get these perfect, you know, geometrical shapes, and when it's bad intention, we get this goop. So this is like a polluted river, and this is like a clean river. And so if we tie this back to the cathedrals that have got these windows, and they're connected to the ether with all these spires, and then what else do we have in cathedrals but these things called organs, right? I mean, we have these things called organs in our body, and we just, the DNA, you know, cymatic is the same as some frequencies in these windows. So what this is all looking like is these are you know, healing factories, or not even healing, wellness, I guess, just to keep people well. They're pumping out frequencies.
You can literally Google any city of the old world from the 1600s and back, and it will come up in these star fort shapes, and every single one is like Venice, and there's canals everywhere. Those were the highways of the time, but they were also so much more, with all of like this hidden technology, infrastructure, and buried history.
And you can see this one again, always these big cathedrals in the cities, but here's one of the stars, right, or batteries attached into the wall. And there's even another one of these more sort of irregular shaped ones out here, but they always have these stars attached, you know, to these star cities. And again, the canals, and you know, you can see this is a big island kind of thing as well. But the thing is with water's free energy. You know, you float a boat, you use the current, right? The current.
How about the water wheel? What are water wheels? Water wheels are harnessing electrical power. Electricity just as much as it was the physical power and mechanical power that they used out of it. What's to say that windmills and water wheels weren't actually generating hydroelectric and wind power a few 500 years ago?
This is a drawing. This is New York City, right? Battery Park is because this is what was there, a battery.
All right. And we are live. Sorry about the delay, everyone. Once again, it was definitely all my fault. But I was out for a lovely dinner with my lovely partner, Amber, her father, and her brother for their birthdays. So it was a good night, and thank you for your patience.
Says the doctor. Hello to everyone in chat. How are you all going? 93 of you. Thanks for joining us. We got Judy, I'm Jolly, Noel, Alexis, Dragon Sage, Mountain Cat, Shelly Beach. Oh, Shelly Beach. Sounds like a nice place. Flat Plain, Oregon, Beyond Grey, Dragon Sage, Mr. Super Sidewinder. All right. Thank you all for being, and everyone else who's in the chat. Hello, hello.
Indeed. Look at the nice new background that we got designed for us.
Sorry, I just kicked you out.
Oh, good.
I like my embellishments, my little star and my little chemistry set down there. And
right? Oh, have you seen the homunculus alchemy? The story of it. It's trending right now.
Homunculus, like the dude in a jar, the little.
Yeah. There's like a 2-hour special. It just came out a couple days ago. I think on the Donut O podcast or something like that. But quite fascinating. They did a really in-depth, good job of it. And just from my alchemical experience and like all the alchemy, the amount of esoteric and occult alchemical texts and like knowledge that was disclosed in this video, I highly recommend it.
Wow. So that they're not
Golems, yes.
actually growing little people in jars. Is it like an analogy kind of thing to?
Okay, so I can't actually do a spoiler alert because I only watched the first hour. I still have to watch the second hour.
You have to watch.
And
are they growing little people in jars?
You're right, and like that's what it seemed to be. And then there's also, I guess, the psychology of homunculus theory, that there's like a homunculus within each person, homunculus within homunculus within the homunculus within.
Yeah, right. So the theory, there's a little dude sitting in our heads, like in that. What was that? Was it Men in Black, where they had
Men in Black? Yeah, you got it.
Yeah,
Men in Black. That one.
And, basically, that person's playing, like seeing our life through first person, like through a first person shooter kind of.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, though, it was also in Ninja Turtles, like the brain. He'd always like have his big body thing, right? And it'd be like the floating brain that would like
the baby guy
be like in it. So stars, Dragon State, stars and stars. That's what I have created, and I don't quite think I want to do the homunculus quite yet.
Homunculus. Maybe if it's a ninja, I don't know.
Right?
That could be cool.
Might be a turtle, a homunculus turtle. But, not a ninja turtle. Yeah. Wow. Some of the things I've grown, though, it's kind of resembling of like pieces of the homunculus, and like a couple of times, like when I put my blood into the reaction, and it's like it expanded and like it all like came together into like a cluster, and it actually looked like a dragon that was like swimming around in the electrolysis reaction. It was like this plasma like entity thing, and it was very, very fascinating. And then my most recent podcast I did with Rex here in the last week, he showed me something on Rex research of Michael Faraday had done some electrolysis experiments. I forget the original discoverer's name, but Michael Faraday then repeated it and verified it. But it was off the anode sides. They were growing what they were calling these little bugs or insects, crystal bugs or crystal insects.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
Yeah, so it's like literally I think I've grown similar things, that it's like these little clusters of nanoparticles, and then they grow like tubes that look like these hairs, and like they start organizing into what looks like segments of like a bug and stuff, with these like little mini tubes coming off of them and stuff. It's really, really fascinating stuff. And
wow. Did they throw clay in there? Apparently that's how you get a human. You throw some clay in.
Yeah, the clay is the one part. The other part is what lives in a submarine, and I don't really, I don't want to have to provide that for the experiments,
like, that kind of submarine. Didn't they do that in South Park?
Yes, they sure did. I guess is a homunculus. South Park did homunculus.
Yeah, so I mean, there you go. Oh wow. Yes. What was the name of that podcast again? Do you remember?
The homunculus something. Give me a moment.
And that's interesting because we have all these stories, about. I mean, obviously there had to be a creation of us at some point, right? Humans. Have these stories of people coming down and messing with genetics and creating people, and we're created from dust, and might be more truth to that than we know, right?
Oh, exactly.
Because this is the thing, is we're told, flatly that you can't create life. I mean, that's basically that's a thing, right? And we're told, people have always been trying to do that, and we've got Frankenstein stories and all these weird things. but maybe you can, right? Maybe life is everywhere, and maybe because we are part of the creation, that also makes us creators, and we can create new creations. It's interesting.
Right? Like, just the possibilities are truly mind-blowing.
Look at all the cryptids and stuff back from the 16, 1700s. Old men and all types of stuff.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry, just trying to find the name here of the actual podcast. It was, and so then I can share it once I do find it, if I do find it.
All right. Esoteric Knights of Malta says they hope you're well, Bernie.
Thank you. Yes, I am. Yes, I'm doing good. And
Nice.
now I can't seem to find it at all. What the heck?
Oh, Mr. Super Sidewinder posted something. Is that the right one? Is that it? I actually can't click anything because I'm in StreamYard, so I can't tell. Is that it, Mr. Super Sidewinder? I shared it. Yeah, okay. Mr. Super Sidewinder shared it. So there it is.
Perfect.
Link it's on the screen now. So if you go to...
Yeah, got it. Here we go.
All right, so there we go. Thank you, Mr. Super Sidewinder. So go check that out, guys. Have a look, see what you think. Let us know.
Donut Factory, that's the channel. Donut Factory,
Donut
Homunculus
Factory.
Rising. The
Oh,
strangest story ever told.
wow, nice. Okay, let's watch that as well. Nice. Aaron Corbett, how you going? And of course, the audio from Autodidactic is provided by Mr. Aaron Corbett for this stream.
Oh, nice. I was
Yeah,
unaware of that.
yeah. No, Aaron sent me my thing. I've got a big...
Oh, Campbell, I lost your sound. Oh, Campbell, you're muted. You're muted, brother.
How did
There we
that...
go.
Man, bloody hell. All right. So there we go. Dark chocolate. Oh, gilded quillum. What are you talking about? Sounds rude. Brandon. All right, let's go, Brandon. Yeah. Good luck to Brandon in next month's race. Yeah, and we discovered that why Brandon's losing his mind. It's out. We've worked it out. Aerosols, right? Aerosols, not good for you. You shouldn't be sniffing aerosols. Things like hairspray. So I'm thinking years and years of sniffing the hairspray has got to him. I think
He
that's why
literally poisoned his homunculus. There's nothing there steering
his
anymore.
homunculus is off its face, man.
The homunculus is just
people, all types of stuff. Get me out. Maybe that's why people, do things like cocaine. Maybe it's a homunculus that wants it because it goes straight in, right?
Right. Yeah. So it's like you're gonna see me once I start intaking more of the monoatomic gold. One day, Bernie's just gonna be like, "Give me the white gold."
Yeah, my precious.
Gotta feed the homunculus.
Maybe that's why they say don't put things too far up your nose. Oh, what? Crack up Campbell.
Crack you up like he's cracking me up. Funny.
Yes, okay, I know. All right, so what do we have planned for today, Mr. Burneye?
Well, I was originally trying to get Kelly Lynn on, but we'll have to reschedule that. She's a 5D conscious experiencer, and she does everything from astral traveling from the age of 9, where she claims to have experiences with Greys, with the Palladians, with going to like these crystal realmed worlds, and like crystal energy healing within these realms. And then she also claims to be a healer and all sorts of 5D higher dimensional out of body experiences. But that was not today. That will be next week, hopefully.
Yes, you have to wait in anticipation. But yeah, and if you haven't seen it, last Tartari Australia episode, we talked all about that and dreams and what is this dream state that we spend a third of our lives in and we don't pay attention. And of course, everyone tells us it doesn't exist. And is that maybe one of the keys, right? Maybe some of the answers are out in the astral realm.
100%. I could not agree more on that.
Mm. I was listening to a podcast. What's it called? We were giants, or come from giants, or something like that. And an astral traveler, and he said that he was basically on different meetings and rituals. And he said he didn't know what he was doing. He'd just appear in these places and just listen to them, like reading their books out and stuff. And he made notes. It was, pretty bizarre. Bobby, how you going? Welcome. Hello. Thank you for being here.
So for today, I guess we'll go over a little bit of the Grand Canyon pyramid complex and its star alignments. And if you were able to pull up some pictures from some cathedrals, we can also do the cathedral. Some more. Perfect. So I'll just tell everyone what we're looking at here right now. This is the Isis temple, and you can notice this giant big capstone on it. And it seems that all of these temples, these ancient, probably from the time of Lemuria, even maybe still occupied by Atlantis, but they're so old, the amount of erosion that's happened on them, but that you can still see the gist of it. And that in case you do doubt that they are man-made, in fact, here is the Grand Canyon topographical map, and you can see that literally on the top of every single peak aligns perfectly to every star in the Orion, not just in the Orion constellation, but also the entire sky area. And how you got like the Tower of Ra here, I think is like Betelgeuse. Isis Temple is aligned with Bellatrix.
Have we got some feedback, guys? Is there feedback sound or something? Is your PC whirling?
Oh,
mine doesn't seem to be. Let us know if there's like background noise, guys. Sorry, Bernie, continue.
Yeah, okay, and then so this right here, another shot. This is an older one of the Isis Temple, and there used to be this massive giant cave in the center, and that is no longer there. There's magically a giant wall has been put up and covers this cave, this entrance into the Isis Temple. So it's like, if that's natural, why the heck would they go and spend all those resources to build probably 200 to 300 foot, if not bigger, wall covering of this cave in the center of Isis Temple?
And look at all those, oh God, come on, Brian. All the levels down there. What's it called? Terracing. All the terracing on the outside.
The terracing, exactly. The terracing, and it's on every single one of these step pyramids. They are step pyramids in this Grand Canyon complex. And like this one is supposedly closer to the Kincaid Cave, right off the river in the Grand Canyon. And Rex was out there this weekend looking around, trying to find. There was another, what was claimed to be a Google oddity found on the. So this picture's taken from like the standard side of the Grand Canyon, and then I believe it's the opposite side of this Isis temple, so over off of this side, where they found the anomaly, and it was labeled a Egyptian tomb from the image off of Google Earth that was trending over this last week. But Rex was able to make it. Yeah, Rex made it out there. He got his balloon drone up. He was able to go over and check it out. And spoiler alert, it's just a couple of rocks. It's not actually a cave.
Oh,
But
what's
the
a
thing
balloon
is,
drone? Is that like an airship drone? Because I want
you
one.
got it. Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
serious? Oh
Yeah.
man.
So it's like a little airship drone, and then he's got a gimbal and a GoPro attached to it. It's pretty
I need
epic.
one. Because you know what else you can
Dude.
buy now is you can buy, they're like GoPros, but they're lidars.
Oh yeah, yeah. Paul was mentioning that the last time we were
Yeah, they
talking.
start at 10 grand, but that would be so cool.
That is
So
what
do we
we
have any
need.
pictures of this now? Did that one get blocked in as well?
This one
And
here, I do believe, got blocked in. This was supposedly the King Cave, and now it's been completely walled up and covered too.
so now
If
it's known as a pocket of survival.
yeah,
Sorry.
it's just it's ridiculous.
Hang on. I think I just got no. I thought I got feedback on the sound. All right. Love Paul. Come on, guys. Talk about us. Come on. Paul's last video. Go and check that out if you haven't. It's awesome. Basically, he goes through a hole in someone's basement and ends up under a street.
Yes, yeah, I saw that. That's actually his second last video. His last video is
Oh,
also awesome, and it's his
oops.
next creation of geopolymer.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
He's
Okay.
continuing making it and stuff. But yeah, no, that one with where he literally goes into this basement and goes under. It's like, oh, just this side room, and then oh, the side room goes under the road, and oh, where does under the road go
Right.
to more? Just
So this is the thing, and he made a very good point, which is kind of in your face, but I had never really thought of it. Is most of these mud flood buildings, it's not mud against them; it's these viaducts.
yeah.
Like
Like
we
there's
see the
just
mud, sort of on the edges where we see it on angles. But the rest of the cities, it looks like it's all been literally built
built
up,
up.
and
Yeah,
that's
just
why
like
we get the
literally
windows.
level up. Like
Mm.
what Futurama was it telling us something of
Yeah,
what is below?
exactly right. The Undercity, yeah, and that movie, A Boy and His Dog, back from the 70s.
Speaking of which, I need to grab the dog. Oh,
Oh, wow. How'd he
okay.
go?
I will be
Oh,
right back. Unos
oh,
momentos, por favor.
I thought he was back. Well, there you go. It's just me, guys. I'm going to take that. It's just me. Let's kick Bernie's wall off. But first, let's take a little time to enjoy the little things, as Bernie's wall is telling us to. That's enough of that. All right. So, how are we all? Did they use giant grinding stones? Well, what's that for? To make things? Basically, everything looks like it's all geopolymer, right? Geopolymer. We'll reinvent it as we go. Yeah, geopolymer. Let me have a look because it's just a short video, and I'm sure that Mr. Cook will appreciate the publicity. Let's have a look at it. Paul Cook. Who lived in a house like? Is that it? Hang on. Hope it's on this channel. He's got 2 channels now. This one. Oh, it's his third last video. My God, Paul's putting out almost as much content as me. Tell you what, this race to 100,000. Let me just check this is the right video. All right. Okay, where are we? What screen am I on? I'm on this screen. Oh, Bernie, we kicked you off, mate. Sorry. You had your chance. All right, we'll let you back. All right, I was just going to show a bit of the Bernie dance. Now, is it called the Bernie dance because when you do it, it looks like you're being burnt? I'm burning.
No, I guess the origins of the Bernie dance is from Weekend at Bernie's when they're trying to dig the dead body out. That's where it's like.
Hey, that's very cultural. Nice. Funny movie, like pretty morbid kind of topic when you think about it, but funny. All right, so this is Mr. Cook. Why is there a hidden level? Is that sound okay?
Yeah, I can hear that well.
I think we are. Let's have a look. I just want to get the elevation.
Hang on, I'll fast forward it a bit.
This is the road. We are underneath the street level now. And there's no fireplace.
So this is the basement. That's already under the street level, like a sunken basement.
There's electrical cables or an electrical mains coming from the right hand side. That door there. So if we go over here, you can see.
Oh, and did you see that as well? Where was it?
Over here,
old fireplace down on the bottom level.
Look at that, right?
Mm.
And you'd need air going through there if you're burning down there, ventilation and whatnot.
It'd be interesting to see if the whole chimney was still there. And look at this, it's clearly an old doorway, right, that's been covered up, filled in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's behind that?
Yeah, well, look, the services are going through there.
Mm-hmm.
This is electricity, I think. Whoops.
Yeah.
So we've gone underground, we've gone underneath the basement, and we're looking right. And that means I'm looking straight down the road if I was above ground. Okay? So it'd be like this. This is the street, and I'll be facing that way. So the cables run all that way. So it must have fed all the houses. So this is why they buried this road, this level. So I'm in the row of houses here, and the secret level that I found is here, this part that's marked. So I can go through a little hatch, and I end up under the road and under the street pavement. And that is where the service is. So you've got the gas and the water coming in from that way. So I end up about here. And I assume that all the houses have this access. Now you've got old pipes coming this way, and you've got the old electrical cable coming in. So they're using these as services, and then they buried it. And by the way, I just want to point out the fact that these houses were apparently built in 1890. But if you check the block work out, now I'm exiting, outside of the building. So I'm underneath the pavement right now. And again, you've got a new gas pipe coming in there, which I just have to climb over. And you'll also see to mains coming right hand side in a minute. And again,
look at that. Hey, that's just entire city underground.
Yeah, and did you see the roof? Oh, it's a bit hard. Goes by quick. It's arched. It's like all the roofs we see, right? Oh god. Like those, like what we think are tunnels and that. They're all arched roofs.
It was full of mud. So whether
exactly.
Look, I'll show you.
And it's just full of that. It's got an old ladder and bits of tools and that. Look at that. Is that an old sink in the corner or something?
That is an old sink in the corner. Waterway going in, and like that's a lead pipe. That for how old that is.
That's what he says. He says it's lead, and then as it comes in, then they change it to steel. So all they've done is change half the pipe. The bits you can see.
None of the original pipe work or water source.
Yeah, there's the join there.
Yeah.
See, lead in, steel out.
Yeah, still getting lead water. Don't worry about it. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, they told everyone they took it out. So, oh my god! And look at how old that looks. Look at that another. What's that? A fireplace? I don't know.
Look how old this
clearly like inhabitable, used building.
Oh yeah.
Long ago.
Oh.
And when they claim that it's like, it was air raid shelters, it's like, well, they didn't build these during the war while they were getting bombed, just magically under their houses.
People just started smashing holes in the floor and digging tunnels. Yeah, it doesn't make. I mean, look at the work in there, and there's no way that was built I mean, clearly, any sane person knows that was built before the house on top was built.
Well, I don't know, Campbell. Facts don't exist anymore. So.
I know, right? What is a woman anyway?
Amber will tell you.
Nice. So that's pretty much it. So, and then he pops out and he's back in. There you go. So that's the edge of the house there. So that's the outside of the wall of the house that they know of. So all this is outside.
Like there's cars driving over that. That's like some steady, hard, heavy duty building.
Yeah, man. It's
going completely under the road.
Yeah. So basically that was the original level, right? And then they've come along and put a viaduct on top and buried it.
Yeah. Well, and then what's to say that there's not a basement under that?
Well, we don't know exactly, right? This is the thing. So, yeah, and I think we all know this is probably every city. We're starting to find out.
It really is.
Done heaps of work on the Americas, and I mean, just looking around at Australia, I know they're there, but it's so hard to find info on Australia because apparently everything got burnt, right? In the Garden Palace at the World's Fair, like it burnt, and it had
just like the USA, apparently.
Yeah, all the records, the only copy, all gone in one fire.
That's just so ridiculous. Hello, Headley Man BC. Shout out to Craig. Hope you're doing well, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
Stoic Holmes. Hello, Headley Man. Hello.
And there is New West Reset is a small channel. Frankie, he works with Beegs a lot, but he's actually out of Calgary, Alberta too. And we've been talking, so I'm probably going to meet up with Frankie here in the next couple of days, and we're going to go take a look at Brickburn Park. And it's Calgary's story of the brick factory that built Calgary, but then magically disappeared and no longer existed right when Calgary went through its construction boom and turned into a city. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting.
And Michelle put out a new video a couple of days ago too with some new alignment. So I haven't watched it all, but that's something else because I got... Now, who was it? Someone, because I did my video on the Star Forts, the ones that we covered. Remember when I kept on getting disconnected? So I re-recorded that, and I asked people to let me know about any Star Forts. And thank you to everyone who responded. I got heaps.
Nice.
Someone sent me, and of course I should have known this. Gimli. Yeah. Gimli. I knew it was close to that. He has a site called starforts.com, and he's actually got a link to his Starfort file.
Really? Perfect.
I have that. So I'm currently looking for... Who am I looking for? Someone was very good to me. Can I find your name? Maury Fogel. Thank you very much, Maury, for sending me that. So I've now got a crap load more Star Forts, and so we're going to keep building on that. But also, Michelle, I'm going to turn my phone off. Hang on. Can you hear that beeping every 5 seconds?
I'm used to it. I was like, is it mine?
I did it. I turned it off. What did I do yesterday? I think I did a morning show, and I put it on airplane or whatever it is, and I didn't realize till like 6 p.m. that it was still on there. So I'm very good with that kind of stuff. Yeah, Michelle. So we'll have to get her alignments on the Googles of Earth as well.
Yeah,
that all ties in, lining up the buildings and the stars and all this kind of stuff. But yes, I do have some pictures of some cathode rays, cathedral rules.
Yes, sir. Let's take a look at that, please.
Some cathedral rules. this. See, don't you like how I have a sound, like a sound play for when I'm searching things? It's very good, right? There we go. This is a church, or is it a chapel, or is it a cathedral, or is it a mosque, or maybe
A high
basilisk,
school.
or a high school, or a lunatic asylum, or a prison? Take your pick.
Right? Which one?
How do you confuse an Irishman, Bernie? That's right. Give him 3 shovels and tell him to take his pick.
Take his pick.
Got an old world
Fire hydrant.
Now this is 1900. All these picks I've got, they're all from 1900. So, and streets, right? It's just, I mean, apart from being extremely empty, it's also clean. And it looks like we've got cobblestone and we've got mines.
Yeah.
And here, what do we have? All right.
Iron gating everywhere.
And no doubt
that's
a lower
another
level.
thing. It's grounded. That iron is grounded. So it's like if they're connecting it up to that spire, that's your grounding. That's going to create the differential.
Yeah, okay. Nice. Look at this. Is that a light? Don't know what's going on with that. It's not the best resolution, this picture, but I mean,
it looks like it.
Big airport in the background.
Sky, hey? Vanilla
And
sky.
of course, spires everywhere. And this one, Bees has been showing a lot. And I'm going to start looking harder, like the vanilla sky thing. Like he's got photos where you can see where the cuts are.
Really?
Exactly. He's got this one, and it's got these people sitting on like a horse on this hay. And you can see the ones at the bottom, and on the top, there's just these legs and no people attached to them. It's a funny thing.
That's funny. Look at that, hey?
I mean,
wow.
You know, it's seriously go to the best architect and ask them to design that.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
They're going to ask for $1 billion just to freaking figure out how to make that possible.
And did you see Joe Rogan has been talking about, or his friends, a couple of his friends have been introducing him to Tartaria.
Nice.
On his podcast.
All right. We might get Autodidactic Alchemist on Joe Rogan yet.
Yeah,
it
man.
Might yet come.
So there we're going. Now, this is obviously a star city. So I've put a couple of these maps in because what you see in these, you know, old star maps is the cathedrals. Right? I mean, this, again, it's not the best, but you can see there's these massive buildings in here, and they're always the cathedrals. You kind of see one there, one there. Now, this makes me think that they're a big, important part, because everything else in this map is just a square, right? They're not really pointing much out.
Yeah.
Apart from the star and these cathedrals. And I've got some more of those maps coming up. This, or where do you think that is?
I'm gonna guess Japan, but then at the same time, it's like, what is it doing in Japan? Because that looks like the cathedral itself should be in Portugal, Spain, or Ireland or England. You know, like
China, 1900.
Yeah, like look at that. I guessed obviously from the pagoda, but if those pagodas weren't there, what is that?
Don't know, right? But it's kind of a good picture, because you can see this, you know, clearly, right? Massive stone building. I don't know what they're doing to it. Look at all this dirt.
Right? Look at that.
I know, right? Hard to build. And then this is just wood.
But look at how old and deteriorated that is.
Yeah, exactly. Look at the roof on it. So it looks like this has definitely come afterwards. You know, it has, because it's built on top of the foundations of this.
Yeah. Exactly.
So this has come later. This has been here earlier, and this is again China. Now this, we can't see the top of it, but if that has two towers going up, that's exactly like that one in France. I forgot what it's called, but the one in the middle of France. Of course, look at the symbology on it. Maltese crosses and these, Greek style statues. What's that got to do?
Right?
I mean, seriously, and you look,
That
when
has
Windows
nothing to do with the Han Dynasty, I can tell you that much. Yeah, look at how it's broken out there and everything. Like,
and here, see, this is broken. So you can see this is really old, this building. It's pitted and broken and much older. And this is old, but this is much older. And what they're doing, I have no idea, right? Digging out. Was it full of mud inside? Maybe. Who knows?
that is,
But of course, the thing is,
fascinating.
it's definitely Chinese because look,
There it is.
At the front. So I think we're wrong. It was definitely, sorry guys, definitely Chinese. There's a Chinese dog out the front. Bristol Cathedral.
Wow.
Look at this.
Look at that. Look at the Antiquitech on top. Like, that is just like a higher dimensional antenna waveguide, fractal waveguide right there.
And then this is Rapunzel's tower. All right. That's a castle tower, man, on top of apparently a church, right? So it looks like someone got confused and someone sort of said, build a cathedral, and halfway through it was like, no, I want a castle. And so they just sort of put a castle on. I mean, it's weird, right?
It's bizarre. Like, just wow.
But, if you thought, maybe this is an airport, right, that maybe needed power to be powered, and these are landing, stations and platforms and tethering.
Right? You could see some airship quite easily docking and undocking out of there.
And that at least makes sense. Like the story they give us makes no sense. And also the other thing you'll notice on all of these cathedrals is the size. We've got people down here, and they're just, all of them are so oversized, which is why they're clearly not, they're clearly not for what we're told they're for. I think they're just purely machines.
They truly, it's a macro processor, a macro resonator antenna. Like, now, here's the thing. Plasma arcs a lot of time create ozone and like this monoatomic ozone powder. It's like if they had arcs going through that from one side to the other, for instance, say if that thing like was when you powered it up, if it created a giant arc between the two, it would essentially, if it was a giant spark gap, you would have it raining monoatomic powder below you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, right. Manna raining from heaven.
Right?
Yeah. And look at all these toroids, right?
Exactly. Those
toroids, which are the same as
they're harmonized.
Right?
The energy and fold it back into itself.
Yeah. And look how old this thing is. It just looks so old.
Right? Like,
and again, this I don't know. Look at this, right?
Look at that. It's broken down and just shattered to absolute crap over on that side.
Can you see this bush? You reckon that's been cut?
Yeah.
You reckon that's been wide? Because it's got an edge, right? They don't have edges like that. They have, individual leaves. And that's a very white background. So I wonder if this has been whited out.
Yeah, quite possible.
I mean, and look at, he's that a dude? He's that Spider-Man without his, red uniform.
There are a couple of guys up there. Are those are they occupying it? Or are they taking the bells down?
Yeah, exactly right. Stealing the bells.
Stealing the
bell.
bells, putting up the false idols and the false flags.
The false flags. I know, right? It's like people are still into communism, and there's been so many red flags.
I think they still raise a red flag for communism.
It raises a red flag from me.
Right?
And again, look at the size, right? Like we've got trams, horses, people, and
yeah, like the doorway, like the
here.
tram could fit in to that.
Yeah.
And look at that, the horse pulling those trams. Oh, we lost electricity. Bring out the horses.
Yeah, but turn the lights on so they can see where they're going. Yeah, I mean, it's I mean, just that idea is dumb, right? It's like we've got horses and carts. There's one right here, right? That you can go anywhere, right? Horse and cart, you can go anywhere. So someone goes, I know, let's make a tram, and what it'll be is it's like a horse and cart, but it's heavier and harder to pull. It'll need tracks, right, which is going to be massive infrastructure, and then you can only go to certain places. It restricts your movement. Okay, let's do that.
That is a very good point, Campbell. That is a very good point. Just wow. Imagine when that was before the false idols were put in there, and when there was actually plasma arcing between each of those little spark gaps.
Please, yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah, man, and which is it's really Tesla. You know, this the tech that Tesla was using, but a lot more.
I was literally just thinking exactly that. Like, if you thought a Tesla tower was cool, imagine being in one of these.
I know. I mean, look at this ceiling. All right. Made by unskilled peasants with no tools. Look at this the skylight flowers. And of course, this whole bit here is, well, apart from being like a mirror, you know, a fractal of the outside of the cathedral, that's the same as a monstrance, right? A monstrance is just another fractal size down. Yep. It's handheld. So we have this repeating shape, because you see this in a lot of the old cathedral, you know, where they leave them either around the, you know, the altars or the organs. Yep. And then you get these little tiny sort of handheld monstrances, and they're all the same shapes, the same kind of basic design.
Place we see that same thing today is on top of your 5G antenna.
Ah, nice. This, I don't know what this is for. This is for special. Oh, okay, that's a stairway. Oh, okay, stairways. Look at these, man.
Just wow.
Ridiculous, right?
And then those are the conquerors, or the last of the Tartar.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that elongated skull behind that hat. Anyone?
Yeah. The old rulers, maybe the old guard. And down here we have the new guard taking notes, right? Hang on, what are they talking about? Or maybe they're changing the books. But I mean, that's just ridiculous, right?
Just wow.
And this one is, that's Notre Dame. Oh, no, that's in Montreal, Quebec.
This is in Quebec.
Yeah, Notre Dame.
I've driven past this in Montreal. I need to go back to Montreal with new eyes, because it's just. I was amazed when I was there before at all the ancient, massive cathedrals everywhere, and at like the CP Rail hotel and whatnot. That's that giant citadel, star citadel, and everything. But like, I didn't know what I know now, and now it's like. Apparently, there's like more cathedrals in Montreal per like square capita than like anywhere else in North America, and it's crazy, just crazy.
Wow. Power center. Well, go check it out. And this ceiling as well. I mean, we see this everywhere, right? This same design, this same kind of pattern on the ceiling. But also, look at this. They've had to bend the glass to fit it in the ceiling. See that? How it goes with the roof.
Yeah. And like those straight repeating cymatic frequencies that they have in those windows.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. I mean, but yeah, built hundreds of years, or no, built by people with no tech. Cool. What's going on up here? This one looks like it's in a bit of disrepair as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've been facading it.
In the middle of reconstruct. I mean, that's interesting, isn't it? I wonder if that's what they all
Yeah,
were like.
right. There's
You
so
got
many
filled
of them
in.
that had that back in the day.
Because that's, and look, completely open. It's a full-on deck, but it also looks like you've antenna. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Massive fractal antenna. Waveguide fractal antenna.
This is Edinburgh, and again,
What's
just
the size of the people to the doors?
And I mean, look at this. This is a 3-story building.
Yeah.
And it's not as tall. It only come up to about here, right? So these are massive buildings. It just doesn't make sense unless they were needed to be that size for some other reason. What's this?
Exactly.
This is one in England. Same, exactly the same roof as we just saw in Montreal.
Montreal. Yeah.
Exactly.
And look at what looks like the monstrosity of a giant monstrous right there to the left.
That? Oh, this thing here, yeah.
Look at that.
These look like plasma tubes.
They do, actually. Yeah, that's the organ. That's part of the organ candle is what those giant tubes are.
What? They massive organ tubes. Oh my God. So there's an organ in here, no doubt. And that's not, look, I mean, this isn't, I don't know if this is the whole church, but it's not that big, is it? Like for the size of the roof and everything in it, it's not a real big space. Usable space, but clearly they were using it for something else. There's a reason they're so big. I mean, again, just for scale, right? These are 3-story houses, and you just get these,
and they're in the front.
It's just ridiculous, right?
What?
And again, someone got confused and started building a castle halfway through.
Which one is this?
This is Lincoln Cathedral. I'm not sure where it is. I think it's England.
England somewhere.
But look at this repeating. Just to do this repeating pattern across here, man. I mean, there's so much work.
It's insanity.
But when we look at the machines we've got today, if it's giving you something and it's going to, give you value, then we've got very intricate machines, right? They get that when they've got a good value, a big value. But so clearly, there was.
And then architecture that doesn't have value we see everywhere. And what is it? It's just a straight square, bland glass, nothing. And thank you, Cameron Stantilio. I probably slaughtered that, but
thank you, Cameron, from New Zealand. Thank you very much. We do appreciate you. This is Lille, Citadel of Lille in France.
Wow.
But again, see how that shows some buildings. So that's a cathedral, it's got a cross on it. Where are the other ones? But it's the same. See how they only show
all that dark is canals too, right?
Yeah, that's all canals.
Those are canals built within that city.
Yeah. So look at this, and then down, and then back through the fractal thing.
Wow.
And then you can see it then goes out as well.
My mind is blown looking at that, like the top part, that star battery, like that was powering the whole thing some way. Like that's why it's called the battery.
The battery. I mean, and it's just so intricate and perfect, right? And I think Lille today, I think it's just the citadel that's left, isn't it? Lille? Or maybe there's one or two, I remember.
I'm not sure, but
Definitely got the citadel still there. But in the city, again, his house, only as much, but there is a few buildings in here, right? That so clearly there's a function to those buildings. If we look at this more of a a schematic for a machine, right? And these are the components that need to be in there.
right? A giant macro board processor of some sort.
Yeah.
Like this looks like a quantum computer, if you ask me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And look at this. I wonder if these are all angles. See all these angles going off? I wonder if they line up with anything.
Right, exactly. Like, was that connecting ley lines? What exact? Or is that the geoglyphs built in? That right? That's another
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Could it be
Yeah,
the
yeah.
geoglyphs? Because Farron was showing like old world Moscow had geoglyphs built in. Is that what they were measuring and showing off right there?
Yeah, who knows?
And is it projecting the energy out or connecting in?
And in this one as well, we can see some of these satellites that I've been talking about, these satellite stars, right?
Exactly, the being built out there.
And they go all the way around. You'll sort of find this is obviously not a round, when they're round, they're in a circumference, but you can see there's another one there. So there's something to them as well. I'm starting to see them everywhere. Like
And the M ones too. They kind of look like
this one. Oh, sorry. This is France. Okay, so look at the front of this.
that looks identical to like the front of Notre Dame before it burnt down as well.
Yep. And
The vast majority of them, really.
how about that?
Yeah, right? Exactly.
So that's in China, and this one's in France. And of course, we can't see the top of the Chinese one, but it looks like it probably has got two towers like that. I mean, and so this is another thing we're starting to see is this is a certain type of, in quotes, cathedral. But clearly, this doesn't have the big pointy roof and the big spires, and it's
some sort of industry, right? Because look at the venting on those two shafts. They were like venting towers.
Yeah, it looks like it's, yeah. I mean, they're pointing down, so that would be, to get rid of it, to vent rather than intake, wouldn't it? But this is the thing, right? And of course, everything else is the same as China. And look at this, tunnels under buildings, and so that's kind of an interesting picture, right? You can imagine if they put a viaduct here, right?
And why do you have a bridge under that building and then a gap between the two buildings? Like, you just needed to, like, something's missing with that. It does not.
Something, I agree. There's something gone. Oh, look at the top here.
Yeah, that's not decorations. Those are fractal waveguide antennas.
And I don't know. Is that a glitch? Is that some kind of power line? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is
looks
Bristol.
Just like the Montreal one.
Exactly right. Look at the ceiling. Exactly the same.
And look at that organ to the left.
Yeah, we can't quite see it, but that looks like that. Yeah, that one in Bristol we were looking at. And it's always the same kind of. It's always carved the same. The wood, right? It's always this dark wood, and it's always carved the same designs and patterns, and it's bizarre.
I'm like, what is that? Like, it almost looks like a little mini castle built up behind the pier there.
It does, doesn't it? And of course, the fractal cymatic windows. So I mean, these things are just crazy. This one is Eddington. A bit of a different ceiling, but you can still see it's pretty intricate. I mean, but this also might be new. See how that's sitting on wood?
Yeah, could be
Bolted in.
replaced for sure.
Yeah, because all these photos we have of the fires, when all the fires go through, and even just old photos that you come across, most of these cathedrals didn't have roofs. They all got re-roofed.
Yeah. And that was their construction pictures.
Exactly right. I mean, look, this doesn't look like it. It looks like it's still being fixed up, right?
Ooh,
Look at this.
zoom in. Is that a double-headed eagle or what is that on the left there? Oh, a big eagle right there.
Down there,
A massive phoenix, maybe.
Phoenix, yeah.
In England, not in the US.
Eddington I'm pretty sure that's England. This one, France, southeast France.
Wow, look at that.
Again,
Just
half castle. So this is obviously the pointy kind of cathedral. Now, this is different to the two to that one, right?
yeah.
Different design, which would you would think, but it's got a different function.
Like exactly, right?
Look at these spires, and these are all That's not the best because these are all from the year 1900. I was trying to sort of find ones that were not quite stripped out yet.
It's like the sky, that vanilla sky. If I were to imagine a nuclear winter, I think that's what I think the sky might look like.
Yeah, well, this could be a contender for a vanilla sky because see how it just kind of fades up here? You kind of lose the bits of the spire and the roof. It's kind of hard to tell, is that? Because it's not a very high resolution picture, but
Yeah.
But who knows? Again, right? Winchester Cathedral. And this is a kind of another one. Like we see these ones with these massive, windows at the front, right? These really big entrance sort of ways. It's kind of another look.
And always the 3 doors in these cathedrals, and it's those same 3 doors that are carved into like the walls of Petra and Turkey and the Roman Greek architecture and all of that. And it's like, but that is your solstice and your equinox and your solstice.
Yeah, exactly. It's the
sun alignment.
Yeah.
Solar alignments right there, and it's like, why is that not discussed or acknowledged in any of the cathedrals or in architecture?
That would destroy their narrative, Bernie. Come on, didn't you know?
What do you mean we're not allowed to worship the sun, even though they're going there to worship the false idols?
The sun. They're not worshiping the sun, right? Not the S-O-N, the S-U-N. It's all to do with that vowel. This thing is massive. Look at the
size. Because the houses in front are closer in perspective. They're probably at least 2 stories, probably 3 or 4.
And they're pretty old. But this thing is
like 3 times the size just on the main part, like, and double on top. So that's like gotta be like 12 stories up there, if not more.
Pretty tall, and they tell us that we never had, skyscrapers and tall buildings, but clearly, I mean, that's pretty tall.
Like
it's not 50 stories, but it's pretty big for the old world. And the other thing is, when they tell us most of these were built, but they also tell us that, most of the people were just, poor peasants, right? Rolling around in the mud trying to find food. So they want us to believe that everyone went, oh, bugger us, bugger our kids. We're just going to go and build a cathedral instead of looking after ourselves.
Yeah, and right, who are the manufacturers or the claimed manufacturers of most of the organs within them? Because that's
No,
also a major part of the technology and the mystery. Are what do the organs actually do, and are they a real organ of the mechanics of the cathedral? Like
who made
the
them? Well, that's a good
operational
question.
organ of it, whatever
Yeah,
activate the energies
that's
within.
it. And
Right. So this as well,
Germany.
all the
So
dark
this one, they
parts.
actually show them. Yeah, they actually show that these are all cathedrals. So again, you can see that nothing's drawn in here, right? It's all empty apart from these cathedral buildings. Right? Let's see all the spires on them.
Right.
Or
Like,
maybe that's
so was it just fields and no houses, only cathedrals, or was it that only cathedrals were of value to be worth
drawing
including?
in because, but yeah, exactly right. Because this is not a map; it's a schematic of a machine.
Right? Like, and once again, that exact same battery style on the far right, whatever it is that powers the whole thing. And I'm like, look at that. It even like electrical kind of looks like thunderbolt or lightning bolts like around it
Mm,
on the inside.
yeah,
All jaggedy and
of course. We've got the Grand Canal straight through the middle, and then all these other canals popping off it on the water, of course. And of course, to
right
get the
across the
to get
bay.
across, you need another little battery, right?
Right? Like, and to
Not
try
that
to
little. Look
claim
at the
that that
size
is
of the
for
buildings on
defense.
it. That's
To try
huge.
to claim that that is for defense is absolute lunacy because it's completely open to the water, like
It's
where you'd
dumb,
be
right?
invaded from it. Like,
Yeah,
what a joke!
what if they lose all these ships and have to come by land, right? Come on. I think this is the exact same one. It is, but yeah. So you can see these are all cathedrals, right? All these buildings, and you see these. I was just getting these this morning. This one just sort of shows them. So these, they're either these sort of round rectangle shapes or they're a cross, like that. You see them everywhere and they're pointing out the different cathedrals. And again, like we just
Wait,
said, cathedrals
look at
aren't
what it looks
cathedrals,
like.
they're all different.
Sorry, before you switch, go back quickly. Sorry, and zoom back in. It looks like an M. Well, that is just something else. But along the edges, the bastions, and then what looks like these M-shaped ones that we see all over the place.
Here,
Yeah,
Batman.
and then to the left of that,
Oh look, that's Batman and that's Optimus
yeah,
Prime.
right, and then to the far right there, that one, like that one, kind of looks like an M, and kind of like an M right there to the left of it
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what are those? And
Exactly.
like they're reappearing geometry within them as well.
Yeah, yeah. And we see those by themselves as well, that kind of shape, and they're squared off.
And
Yeah,
there are a lot
I
of
mean,
the remnants as well in like the ones that have been quarried out or destroyed and stuff, but we'll see just little
yeah,
islands, little
good
man-made
point.
islands that are exactly that shape everywhere
Mm.
too, especially in the Americas.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this shape, right? It's everywhere. But yeah, I used to call I was calling those like starbursts because it looks like energy, right, bursting out. And I was wondering,
That
is
is
that
confirmed.
showing us the way the current's going, maybe?
Yeah.
Because what else you find is see how this is detached. So so these are bastions when they're attached. This is a cavalier, I believe, because see how it's semi-attached, and this is a um, uh, ram oh god
Rampart.
rav gosh Ravenin Ray oh god I'll get in a minute. Ravelin.
Ravelin.
Yes. So
All
there's
right. I had
this is
never
all
heard that term before.
yes.
Ravelin it is.
So Bastion Cavalier Ravelin. But if we come up here, do we get them up here? No, there goes my theory. See how we've got one here that's detached?
Yeah.
And we have this burst there. See, and then we've got another one there. So and there we've got these detached ones where we've got these bursty bits, but all the other ones seem to be attached. So is that sort of telling us that
Projecting the energy out into the burst?
Yeah. And here again is one of these satellites, right? See this little thing, and see how it's basically like the same. It's all this same, basic geometry, right? And here's another one of the satellites. So,
I imagine how big those walls had to have been to hold those notes in that water and stuff. Like back in the day, how epic a scene it would have been to like either be in the center of that battery or like below the battery looking up at it, like those three massive layers of water.
it would just be ridiculous, wouldn't it? It'd just be such a grand place to be, wouldn't it? It'd be like these, like these images we get of Egypt, where everything's giant and oversized, and there's this. Oh, where'd my other picture go of St. Mary's? Is that it? Yeah. Okay. So this is St. Mary's in the US. I forgot what state.
Look at how old that retaining wall is below it. Looks like megalithic blocks on the bottom right of it.
Yeah.
Right there. Yeah.
And see how we've got bricks, and then I'm not sure what's going on here.
That looks like huge megalithic block work.
So it looks like it's an old, canal, right? And we've got a graveyard here. See this graveyard across the top
of the former people that worked there.
Yeah, well, that's St.
Before
Mary.
the factory accident.
And this is a different one, but this is, you've probably all seen this. This is, what was buried, right? So this is your picture, original level of land, and they cleared it out, and they got, this is basically the old level here.
Right? Like, oh, yeah, no, it was just another 2 stories down that when we built this cathedral that's run down and only 1 story, and we were using it.
So is that why they put graveyards? So you can't dig down, right?
That's a very good point, sir.
All these little funny cathedrals, in churches, there's always a little graveyard there.
That's the exact same as the mounds being sacred native land over in North America. So don't be digging up those giants. No, that's
the one. Oh, it's a national park, and of course, if you take a shovel into a national park, then you create global destruction. Apparently, I'm not sure if it's heating, cold change. Right? It used to be heating. Now it's just change. And again, so this one, okay, so this is another thing. We'll see, and I can't see the end. I'm pretty sure the end of this is rounded, right? And we've got this big round turret. That's another thing we see on a lot of them is these rounded end bits.
Yeah.
That's another feature. And of course, the Twin Towers at the top. Boaz and McKean, maybe, who knows, Scarf Gap. And again, these are people.
Right, look at that. You can going down into the side of it too there.
Yeah, well, this looks like the stairway going up, but then there's all these windows and stuff down here.
That is.
Looks like there's more underground. Well, look at these.
That's 8 or 10 stories tall, actually.
It's just ridiculously big, isn't it?
At first, I'm looking at it like, oh, it only looks like 2-3 stories. But then, looking
at the people,
that's like 8-10 stories, like the tops.
Huge. It's ridiculous. And just built perfectly, right? Symmetrically. And these people who weren't supposed to be having, definitely not cranes.
Oh,
same as the people. Right? Is this Basil's? No, this is a
it's a
church, the
similar
Holy
one,
Trinity. Holy Trinity in Ostankino. That's obviously not how you say it. Ostankino. Is that how you speak Russian?
Wow.
So yeah, a few things to notice. Right, see all these cords coming down.
Yep.
Up there as
Energy
well.
harvesters, no doubt about that.
And there. I mean, this fractal stacking they got going on
Yeah,
here is ridiculous.
just mind blowing.
And yeah, right. It's just.
Like,
And the thing is, they all might have looked like this, right? And they've all just been defacaded.
yeah. Well, facade, because it's a fake face. It's the facade they have added on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, well, yeah.
Love you as always. Glad to have you, Hippie Shake.
Oh, hey, welcome. So another star, and again, just to show that this is more like the buildings that we still see, the red brickers, and this again, just to show they only draw certain buildings, right? Which I think they're drawing these as these are the functional components.
Just wow.
That's a nice star, that one, isn't it? Because this is a ship, a tall ship. So you can imagine how big that thing is.
That's just nuts.
Even at this time, it looks like there's more of it coming down here, right? There's been buried. You can sort of see a bit of a wall here. And of course, this is on an island, right?
Just wow.
So clearly, we are the most advanced we've ever been. This one is New Zealand. Now, have we seen this, design before?
No, never.
So
Almost, this one's almost identical to the one in China.
Yeah, and the one in France. It's clear that there's a similar design. We've got two towers, we've got big rose windows, we've got the three doors. That it's the same. So I would say
wonder
that
if this picture was taken before the reset of needing the horses to pull the trolley. Apparently,
well, yeah, right. Interesting, right? New Zealand, brand new little colony. When were they discovered? 1800s, I think, 1830s. They've got by 1900, they've got trams that are electric. But China, which has been around for thousands of years, they're using horses. I mean, come on, it's just silly.
Wendy has it right. It's all a facade.
It's all a facade, a face ad. Like that. How's that for a face ad?
Oh my! Wow!
A couple of statues there. Oh, someone nicked one. There's a missing. Now, I mean, what's this? This doesn't look like stained glass, does it? What do you think this is?
Right? Like, I hope that's still there. Like, Pete, we need to start doing chemical analysis of these building materials to really start getting a take on it.
Yeah, this is Exeter Cathedral. Again, I'm not sure what country. But this is one of those, half cathedral, half castle ones. But this one, and we find this as well, right? Some that just look like they're different to everyone else, right? This doesn't really match many of the other cathedrals we see.
No, like that is just something else.
And look
And
at this.
This miscolored brickwork too. It's like it's all patchy color, right? It's like strange. And then how old is it? This one's definitely like way older than the other ones that we've been looking at.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's a statue there, but it looks like the rest have maybe gone, especially on this side. And then
the process of refacading it.
Okay, so we've got no vanilla sky here because we have a tree you can see through. So see the edge of that tree? That's So if you see trees that are cut off, that's a good sign of vanilla skying. Westminster Cathedral, Lady Chapel, London, England. And look at this. Not Islamic as well at all. Very Christian, right?
Wow.
So this has got a different ceiling and a different shape to the ceiling, right? Than
Yeah.
the one, the crisscrossy bits. So again, I would say this has a different function to that. Even looking at the inside, right, it looks different. It hasn't the other ones with the
Good
crisscrossy
point.
roof. They have really, the big monstrances and the organs and all the wood things, and this is a lot more. But this is also, I think, this is like
Different.
a wing, of a much bigger. It's not the whole chapel.
Gotcha. But yeah, I get what you're saying. A different function of a
Mm.
workshop,
Yeah,
a different
yeah,
form of worship.
yeah.
Workshop.
Right. Feel God energy in a different way. And that's it. All right, there we go. That was our little cathedral romp. What did you think about that? Cathedral. Oh my God.
Stunning.
We've been going an hour 20. How did that happen?
Right?
Wow.
I looked at that too. I was like, what, 40 minutes or something? No,
Yeah,
hour
that wasn't
nothing
even
in.
half an hour. No, almost an hour and a half. There you go, right? Time flies when you're having fun and looking at cathedrals and breaking down the narrative and all that kind of stuff.
Indeed.
Exeter and Lincoln Cathedral, both in England. Thank you. As if. Black hole sun on ceiling. Oh, okay. Could be. There's lots of symbolism. I'm still waiting for Beagle's video on the flat Earth asterisks that he talks about. Apparently, he's got some piece of cake, fam, a few bricks. Yeah, exactly right. Why not? Just call the fam in, tell them all to make, start making bricks. We'll meet back here in a year and we'll build a cathedral. I think that's how it was done.
I got some
brilliant
pictures.
photography.
You got it. And this is something else we're going to be digging a lot deeper into with the science of sound. The next episode, we'll aim maybe for next Friday or 2 Fridays from now, Campbell. And we'll be live with Rex as well. So we'll be on your channel, my channels, Leak Project, and Alien Scientist for the next one. And we'll be going over the difference between 440 and 432 hertz, discussing the Carillion frequency as well as the Solfeggio frequencies. And it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah, indeed. The cathedral in New Zealand was in Dunedin, and it was called Dunedin St. Joseph's Cathedral in Dunedin. So
okay, look at this. So this one here, this is before, and that's with the whole leaf. And then here they did a straight chop across so that it's actually about 20% of the leaf is missing. And then they did put the electricity through, took the picture of the Carillion frequency, and it's still projecting the aura of that pretty much full missing 20% of that leaf.
Phantom limb syndrome.
Yeah. Like, if that doesn't tell you the power of the aura and energy, I don't know what does.
That we are energy, right? Not physical. Well, I mean, they say physical is just condensed energy, don't they?
Oh, that's another thing. Kelly was her name? The 5D girl, that Kelly Lynn. She is also able to see auras, so that's something else talking about, and getting this Carillion photography. Yeah, we got to have Mike back on from Faraday Research as well and talk about his cobalt glass that apparently can see orgone energy and yeah, start seeing auras with it, which would be unbelievably awesome. And then
Yeah.
for the 6th episode of Science of Sound, I've
Oh,
got
Tracy
well,
Lynn's in the chat. Did you know that?
say
Is
again?
that who you were talking? Were you talking about Tracy Lynn?
No, no, not Tracy Lynn.
Oh,
Same last name.
that's not the
Carrie
person.
Lynn. Carrie
Carrie
Lynn.
Lynn. Okay. Sorry, Tracy.
All good. Um,
Yeah,
But yeah, so
brilliant.
I'm gonna have Crystal Fresh. She's a world famous DJ, but she also makes organite pyramids. So we're gonna be doing an
Ooh,
episode on how to make your own organite pyramids as well.
nice.
And
Cool.
it was a match made in heaven as she was wanting to learn monoatomics and start putting monoatomics into her organite as well as different types of coils into her organite. And I've been making the coils and the organite forever, and I've been the coils and the monoatomics forever, wanting to put them in organite, and now we're actually going to make it happen.
Nice. It's time. I think that's what's happening everywhere. Everyone's starting to step out from behind the computer and get into the world again and look around. And of course, Paul Cook's kind of leading the charge there. Getting out. So this is what we've all got to do. It's fair enough to put concepts forward, but if we want to really get this out there and start getting some evidence, we need to obviously go and get the evidence right. Get samples, get measurements, get LiDAR pictures, all this kind of stuff.
Right, and that's why I'm going to be going out to this place right here in the next week or two. Anybody who wants to help me make it happen, I do desperately need donations because gasoline keeps going up in price, and the only reason I have not gone yet is because I do not have enough money together, sadly. So
My.
if anyone out there,
So you'll find Bernie's link
help
below
out,
if you want to help go across to his channel and help out if you can. And of course, if you're in Canada, you're east, right? East?
Western Canada.
Always get it wrong. West Coast. If you want to go along, contact Bernie.
Exactly. It's
Maybe
open
there's
for
someone out there.
everybody to come and be a part of the discovery process.
We can do some carpooling. Who knows? The only thing is get out there and have a good time, right? Get out there and have fun. Is Stellium?
Yeah, and I had to delay my stream with Stellium. I'll be doing one with him this week, 100%.
Cool. And yeah, we've got so much to get through, and I'm away from tonight until Thursday morning, so been busy all Thursday. So I'm not going to get much done this week. But there are things coming.
Did you say?
You what?
Did you say your birthday's coming up?
No. My birthday was. Dude, I'm a Leo. Don't.
I messed it all up. If
I wasn't born raw. It's just a Leo thing, right? What was I saying? I was saying something. I'm old. No, I'm not.
No, you're young. Well, you're an old soul for sure. But
you're only as old as the speed of your mind. That's about it.
Right? Exactly.
When your mind slows down, your legs do too, as proven to us by President Brandon. Sometimes they slow down so much that you can't get them from a pedal to the ground, within a few seconds, and you land on your noggy nog. This is a ball. Now we have these in WA. In WA, they're called the Devil's Marbles. Like we have these kind of balls too. And these are the ones where you crack them open and they got like a seed inside, haven't they?
Oh, the geodes, maybe. This is definitely. Supposedly, this picture was taken at the Medicine Hat Badland Guardians, and it's like these things have been found in like Alaska, Siberia, Bosnia, Ecuador, like literally
Australia.
Australia.
On the beach up in New York. Yeah, they're everywhere. And what? Well, Mike, you'll have to ask Mike, right? When you're on with him, are these giant trees? Are these giant
seed pods? Yeah. Are they natural or were they man-made or something made?
Are they
Ooh, and
giants
then this is the
testicles?
Badlands itself. This is what those Badlands look like.
Wow, man.
And
That's, wow.
so,
Look at the layering in there. All
right?
geology is natural, of course, laid down over millions of years, guys.
And like, look at those layers, those repeating layers, and that those black layers are actually charcoal, and they should not be existing in repeating layers like that, and in those density like thicknesses. It goes exactly against the geological claims
So what
of
are we looking at? Multiple resets, multiple cataclysms settling, and then more coming on top, basically. So that may have been buried for who knows how long. And I guess that's the thing, some of these, buildings that have been covered and now look like mountains and stuff. They could have been there for, like that for 2,000 years, right? And other,
or 20,000.
we're talking 200 years, yeah, or 20, we just don't know. So, I mean, what's inside them? There's a reason that the American government go into the Grand Canyon and brick up doorways and stuff, and don't, wipe all the records of the Egyptian, temple and all the artifacts being found in the Grand Canyon. There's a reason for that.
Oh, you just reminded me. Do you mind looking up next? We'll look up the Niagara Falls Pharaoh and that whole cover up, because apparently there's a royal Egyptian pharaoh found at Niagara Falls, Ontario, and that he was even repatriated to Egypt sometime in the last 100 years.
Yeah, I heard that story. Who did that video?
I told you about it. It was Andreas
told me
that brought it up and showed me last week.
I don't have dementia.
Let's take a look into that for a minute.
I don't have dementia, guys. Bernie, come up here. Niagara Falls. Okay, we're not getting that on a Google search. We may have to do the Googles. I'd say it's not there anymore, is it? Is that right?
It got brought back to Egypt, apparently.
Oh, hang on. So that's probably going to be Niagara Falls Pharaoh. The mystery of the Egyptian Pharaoh. All right. Have you got something on it?
Oh, no. My computer's really slow. I was asking for you to share if you don't mind.
Sure. Do I have to do everything, including being online?
No, I'm so useless. I'm out of my studio still. Apparently, my parents are getting better, though.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. How are they?
Yeah. My dad's on week 3 of fighting the Wu flu, and I guess he's getting better to the point that I should be back there within the next few days, hopefully, but he's still testing positive. And then my mom, she's like a week behind getting it, and it was also that she got it from the tenants downstairs, and so the whole house was sick. But she got the Invermicin, I guess it's called, or whatever.
The horse drug that we can't say.
Yeah, exactly. And she's saying that she's starting to get a noticeable effect off of it here at the last couple of days. So,
do you know what might help? Is if you go in and you put on repeat that song, Everybody's Kung Fu Fighting. That may help them defeat the Wu flu.
Kung Fu Fighting.
Those dudes are fast as lightning. Because COVID's not really frightening. And Brandon's brain's not
lighting. Brandon's brain's not lighting.
Brandon wants some fighting. Oh, over with the transgender leader. Sorry.
Joe Biden.
To all the little kids is a little bit frightening.
Very frightening. If you've seen Hunter's laptop, you'll understand the joke of Joe Biden.
Oh God!
It was something like. This.
Oh, God.
Oh, Toe Biden.
You had to give
Joe
us visuals,
Biden.
didn't you? Tojo. Tojo. There was a song called Tojo, actually.
Tojo. Oh, it's
Tojo. Ooh.
eating.
Dirty old toes on an dirty
Ew.
Okay, now that we've made you feel all uncomfortable and get really gross pictures in your head, we should change the subject. So, he's run away with me again. What are we looking at? The Pharaoh in Egypt. The Pharaoh in Egypt. The Pharaoh in Egypt. Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The ceremony is about to begin. And this, of course, brought to you by the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Earth Edition, which is good because we're talking about Earth. The mystery of the Egyptian pharaoh at Niagara Falls. Most people have heard of the Egyptian pharaohs, even if they're not interested in history, thanks to events like the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, the incomparable and priceless gold death mask of the Boy King, blah, 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 blah. So, oh God, is this going to tell us anything? Our story begins in 1292 BC when Pharaoh Horemheb, whose reign ended the 18th dynasty, died without offspring. He was not of noble birth, having originally been an army officer who wrestled the throne from a pharaoh in a military coup. Oh, there you go. Blah, blah, blah. Line of succession. This isn't telling me much. Stories of... This is a crap article. I'm getting another one. The Egyptian King Ramses from Pharaoh to Niagara Falls. Okay, so it was the right story. It was just badly written. Let's try Inch, the Irish News. This one's got pictures, so clearly it's better.
There we go.
Egyptian King first from Pharaoh to Niagara Falls. Freak show oddity.
That's
looks like
what
he's
they
coming
call
through.
it. They call
portal.
a Pharaoh King a freak show and an oddity. That's mean.
Well, I guess that's fair enough. Okay. Can you read that? Can you see that screen?
Yes, disheveled old men missing a few teeth, armed with rusty shovels, sifting through mud and filth. Oh, they really want to paint an ugly picture, don't they?
Yeah. How do they know the shovels were rusty?
And that the men had missing teeth.
Exactly right. They were looking for Lara Croft, the new Tomb Raider.
Don't take Pharaoh seriously. The people who dug him up were missing teeth.
It's dumb. Where's the story though? Gosh, tell us the story. One doesn't normally associate Niagara Falls with the honeymoon capital of the world. What the hell are you talking about? With a mummified 3,000-year-old Egyptian corpse that also happens to be a lost pharaoh, snatched from its final resting place by the marauding band of thieves. The toothless thieves. Your choice on which of the above terms you wish to call them. I think we decided toothless thieves. So come on. On the hunt for anything they could sell for cold, hard cash. They didn't take warm cash, had to be cold. But in 1817, a series of events began to unfold that would eventually bring the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses I, generally agreed upon to be the founder of the 19th dynasty, to Canadian soil.
Oh, now they're claiming that they stole him and brought him.
This is the toothless men. So the toothless men
sounds like a toothless story. How he got there,
and then because they wanted to make money, cold and hard money, apparently they sailed to Canada.
Yeah, so
that's where the money was.
This is not the story Zerda showed us. The one he
I'm
showed
sure it's not. This is what are they fact check approved, man. Fact check approved.
Yeah,
so they're going to say that they stole it, took it to Canada, where it was found and then sent
Behind-
back, and they're saying it was in the year the Italian archaeologist blah 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 Giovanni Bazzoni discovered Ramsey's original burial place, and the tomb had been picked clean of gold and jewels and carvings. So basically, I mean, it's just a story, right? There's no evidence to any of this. They've just made up a story.
Yeah.
So that's probably not the. I mean, how mainstream? Sorry, guys. God.
Yeah, the story Zerda showed, it was like the guy was found in a tomb behind Niagara Falls, and that's why he was called the Niagara Pharaoh.
Was he reading? Do you know?
Yeah, it was reading.
Remember what it was called?
Nights.
Andre, are you in the chat, Andre? Someone phone Andre.
Yeah. Darn it, why didn't I have this preloaded? I failed miserably today.
What's that site called? The Good History site? Oh God, I forgot what it's called. It would probably be there. Niagara Falls Pharaoh found in cave?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. Found somewhere. Oh, the hotel at Niagara Falls. Egyptian reclaims Pharaoh. Scientists found at the bottom of Niagara Falls. Facts first.
The one Zerda was showing apparently that like the Pharaoh was like found in Canada, and then like the US was like fighting over him, and they transported it to Buffalo for a while, and then he went back on display in Niagara, and then he got repatriated to Egypt. So it's like, if it was a from Egypt, they would not be fighting for it back and forth between countries of where he was just found. Like, that's preposterous.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, if that was like, if they could prove that was an Egyptian pharaoh, it would be straight back, or it'd be like an international incident almost, wouldn't it? So clearly they couldn't confirm that it was Egyptian, so they just made up a story and gave it back. Yeah, so we might have to have a bit of a look for that one, because I think I'm on the wrong page.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely talk to Andreas and find
There's also stories from Tennessee that they found an alabaster sphinx, a big solid alabaster sphinx, and I think the same thing. I think they sent it back to Egypt.
Yeah. Oh, this doesn't belong over here. There's no such thing as Egypt in America. Check out our part 2 coming soon.
Yeah, right. Grand Canyon, anyone? Forever Flat, how you going? Long time no see. And yeah, suck the fub. We need to crack open Sotheby's and Christian Sotheby's and Christie's auction houses. Yeah, that's a good point. They're the ones that do all that we plebs aren't allowed to go to, right?
Yeah.
And that's another thing, right? They just make this stuff so expensive that it's only
the silly muggles are never able to afford such magical things.
Of course, right? Stoicism makes more sense than the Bible. Yeah, Stoicism ties with the possible lies of the Bible. Yeah, and all that Gnosticism, even the Essenes, right? And there's a lot of people think that Jesus was an Essene.
Yeah.
The Essenes, believed in the demiurge. Salt having a major part of the energetics. Yeah, salt bridges. Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to find a picture I had of one of these sphinxes that was found out in Nevada. I think it's a place called Pyramid Lake.
Actually, I found. Oh, I've got a star fort. It's not Nevada, I don't think. But there is one out in the middle of the USA. While you're looking.
Yes, please do share.
There's a bear in there. Where are we? Why are you so low, Google Earth? Anyway, come back higher. What's that? Africa, Europe, what am I doing? America. Okay, so down here, and this is like, in the middle of nowhere, right? I'm not even sure what state this is. New Mexico, okay. New Mexico. Come down here, just in the middle of nowhere, we get this.
Oh, wow. Straight battery. What's that doing in New Mexico?
New Mexico. So, and then of course, right next to it, they've claimed it as military, made their little
no
base.
excavations allowed.
No.
Military land now.
And what do we have right near it? Water, right? Canal.
Yeah.
These look like old sort of canals, maybe. So I haven't been out. I mean, I haven't had a good look, but the problem with this is there's nothing around it. I wonder what that is.
Very strange. Could be a bomb. That New Mexico could be a former nuke blast site potential. They were nuking it there.
Okay, yeah, and that was actually, I think John Levi mentioned that, right? That nuclear tests could be blowing up old world remains. Right?
John did, and also more recently, Dutch Sense has been showing this whole area that there's what he thinks is a giant star fort showing, and that there's a whole line along one wall of that area that has where the old nuclear blasts, all the blasts were.
So where's his is down sort of this area, isn't
it? Straight down. So the giant.
It has like a big bit coming out. Is that there?
No, up just a little bit. The pyramid looking going sideways. It looks like a giant triangle going sideways right at the top of the Baja.
That bit there?
Oh, that's one angle of it. That's one tip, and then the other tip is at the bottom right or bottom left corner where you had it there. Right. Okay, now in the middle, mid left. Oh, no, don't move it. Okay. Now before you move it, take your mouse right to where the blue is in the bottom left corner, and then there, and then go up about an inch or two.
Oh, that
right there. That's one corner of it.
And down here,
all the way. Yeah, there you go. Now you got another one of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we're gonna have to do, and he noticed that a whole bunch of this area has been where they're both did the nuclear blasts as well as where they did a whole bunch of oil drilling, and it seems like it's on two segments of the lines of the wall. But if we're able to find any of like the Starfort wall like we found in Siberia or Ukraine along that area, that'll pretty much confirm that it was one massive star fort.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's what that wall is, right?
Exactly.
That's Skinwalker Ranch.
Really? That's where it is. Okay.
Yeah, out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Weird. What a weird place.
It just looks like it's been Phoenix, right? Like zapped with a big zap bolt.
Yeah.
But, then as you can see, I've got a few more stars down here now.
Ooh. Oh, yeah.
And all through here. And this, of course, just very quickly, this is Cuba.
Oh, Cuba is so beautiful.
Cuba, right?
And before I knew what star forts or anything of the sort were, I went to Cuba right when I was 18 years of age. First place I traveled out of country. And even then I noticed the star forts in Havana, and I was like, what are these epic things? Like, they're just so magnificent and still such a major part of the skyline there.
Yeah, well, very untouched because I think it's country riding backwards.
Yeah, this one right here, I was able to go on a boat around that right there, what we're looking at. I saw that from the water, and like just so epic.
And then that one there, just across from it. And then,
And then I
of
was
course,
on
this
that
one is the one I
seawall.
didn't show.
I was actually on that seawall across from it too. Yeah, that one right there. I was on the seawall across from it, looking at it, and it's just that seawall right
Yeah.
there. I was over there looking
And
at
of
it. I was
course,
just
that one, there's another one there.
right, look at that. See, like I was right in between two batteries, and I had no idea, but at the same time, I just knew it was beyond epic.
And how similar is this to that, when we were looking at the maps of old world Belgium, and they
Yeah,
all had their canal coming in, and they all had their,
their docks
their
and
docks
stuff.
or whatever, yeah, on the inside, right,
And
all
look at
protected.
that. So that would have had to all been dug out before anything else in these
This
cities.
is all
And at
man-made,
what
yeah.
age?
Look at these, look at that, dead straight lines, man-made. This is all man-made, right? Edges, but so I mean, I wonder what the story is for this, right?
Yeah,
When,
right.
when did this,
Exactly.
industrialization happen in Cuba? Because look at this
Right.
place, this is completely built out,
Yeah.
and no doubt just full of old world buildings, right?
Oh, it's so
And look at
cool.
this thing, man. Look
Okay,
at the size
that
of
thing.
it.
Okay, Campbell, that thing right there. I put a couple of my Burncron stickers all around it, and all of a sudden, I had Cuban guards with AKs starting to chase me, and I had to like duck behind a couple of travel buses, and then like wave a taxi, and then like take the taxi to the next stop where our travel bus was to get back on it to not get arrested.
Nice.
And I actually have pictures on my Facebook of like my stickers and that massive, massive tower monolith
On
in
it.
the background. And it's like, what the heck is it? Like, it's this mega obelisk that's like so tall, and they claim it's a war monument, but like, it is just the most
What war did
fascinating.
bloody Cuba fight?
Exactly. Like, look at that thing. Like, what the heck is it? I was just dumbfounded when I saw it. I was like, what? Hey,
Pretty good.
Paul Cook in the house.
Oh, Paul Cook, how you going? Easy, Tiger. Oh, did I just stop sharing? What did I say?
Yeah,
Oh,
I was like, what? We're right in the middle of the magic, Campbell.
oh, was it wrong button? Is that it?
There we
Okay.
go.
Oh, is it? Got the power plugged in. Maybe it lights up at night, right? Whee!
Yeah. Oh, and it's
Yeah,
on a
again,
star. Look at that. It's on a
yeah, it's on a
star.
star. Yeah, yeah,
Is it built on a star fort? Maybe. Huh.
yeah, yeah. A little
Looks like
like the
the
Statue of
Statue of
Liberty.
Liberty. Yeah,
Just,
right next to it. Wow.
yeah,
Like,
they're just
Havana's
everywhere.
literally got like 20 star forts in it. That's nuts.
It's just ridiculous. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into it a bit further. And I'll show you one more thing. I'll leave that for another show. Is that I'm upside down. There we go.
Yep.
So Australia, right? Did I mark them? Oh, what? They didn't save. Oh God! I came into Brisbane, right? Brisbane again is one of these old stars. It's just I'm starting to see it everywhere. Like clearly, right? Man-made canal here.
Oh, and look at where the airport is, right over top of.
This, yep.
Yeah, like, right over top of where the Citadel would have used to be.
Yep. And of course, when you see these canals, the best place to look is at the mouth of them. And so we come down here, first thing, right, industrial, right? Just all industrial. But just these funny shapes, right? Look at this. Got these walls in the ground, raised bits of empty, foundations, canals to nowhere, right? Why not? And this one, did I find remains? Here's another canal to nowhere. And this place has just got, if you come down here, there's all these canals that come in, but also all this stuff that's been erased, right? So I'm pretty sure that there was something there, but I haven't marked it, but I did find something. Again, this is where the other one would be, another airport industry.
Yeah.
Man-made island, and of course, covered in industry, right? I
And like,
mean,
oh yeah, they just built it to store oil on. Of course, that's why they
of
built
course,
those massive man-made islands just for
yeah,
oil tankers.
that's how you do it. Here,
Giant
more quarry.
quarry.
Yeah. And of course, this is the man-made island, right? And as you can see, all the canals start here. So this would have been,
The
part of
hardest.
the old world city.
Yeah.
You can tell. I mean, look at this canal, right? Like man-made canals. There's another one up here. They got no explanation because they're just going into industrial areas. But
Yeah.
look how equidistant
Yeah,
it is.
look at the walls there that were going into nothing. Just
Mm,
down from where you were. Like,
and even in the ground, there's just funny,
yeah.
shapes here. Triangles. More destruction of something that was probably there. I did find things that were so, of course, and on the other side, right, a golf course, of course. And I'm going to have to go back and remark them. But the other thing I notice is this is just a
Look
big,
at that. Yeah, the
right, man-made seawalls.
again,
Again, protected harbors,
right? It's like,
right?
oh, that just naturally happens everywhere we live, that there's an old
Yeah,
world star city. Just
yeah.
nature decided to build a wall in the ocean.
And this is the thing. It was a maritime, society. That's why on all the islands out in the middle of nowhere, Hawaii and all these, these little islands have all got stars on them because these dudes were everywhere. They were using the oceans. They were on all these. New Zealand, right?
Oh my.
Again, look at this massive natural harbor. Don't know what this thing is.
Right?
Phoenix.
It looks like a giant Klingon symbol or something.
Yeah. So down here you can see there's a few remains.
Yeah.
No doubt they'll call that, World War II. But again, look where it is, right? As you come in to this harbour, so no doubt there'll be some down here. This would be an old world city. So, island.
Oh, look at its shape.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, it has got that shape. And that side's been wiped out. But this as well, like this, New Zealand, it's the same stuff that we see, right? We see these same man-made edges, these just the same. I mean, this has been completely built over.
Yeah.
So here you go, same man-made kind of edges, triangular type stuff, pools on the ocean. I mean, look at that, right? So so here I think they got something too, right? Look at this. So it's a pool on the ocean. It's a lagoon, a man-made lagoon.
Right,
But
with what purpose? With
no purpose at all. Exactly right. There's no one swimming in that, and who would want to? I mean,
and the
it's in
walls there. Look at
truly.
the size of it. That just makes no sense at all.
So this looks very, the old world type stuff, doesn't it?
I
I mean,
would
and
say
just all this man-made. We don't have any story because when you look at every city on the ocean, they're all man-made edges.
they
And
are.
there's no story, right? Up here again. So
Oh, look at that
again,
quarry
these
spot
are the
right
places.
on the edge of the canal, hey?
Entrances, yeah, entrance to the canal. And what do we have but a quarry?
With
And
leftover little canals along it.
yeah, right, with bits of canals in here, right? I mean, are we
And then
getting,
canals on the
a
other
bit of a
side that no longer work that
repeating
was
pattern
really
here?
there.
Got this, and then the massive golf course. It's just it gets to the point of ridiculousness. Really,
It's a
they didn't have
farce.
much of a plan, right? They only had this sort of how do we cover it up? Okay, it's got to be a mine, a golf course, an airport, or a state forest. Which one are we going to do? Or a military base? Sorry, military base. So yeah, I mean this stuff is everywhere. So we'll do some more shows on the Googles of Earths, but there's just interesting stuff everywhere. Here's Adam's Island. Wonder where Eve is. Oh, they
What
call it
is
Adam's
this
Island.
place?
There's nothing down here. Oh God. That's a chameleon.
What? What is that place?
Something that they're not going to show us, man. Look
Yeah,
at this.
they don't want us looking at this island in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, Disappointment Island. Well, that was a disappointment. And look, it sits in like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different oceans at once. I mean, look at that. It's like, what the hell? This looks like the pride flag.
That's funny.
So, there we go. This is what they want you to live on. Is that no? Where is it? This one. And see this? South America. You can still see the landline connected.
Yeah, what happened there? What blew through there? Clearly.
Yeah. 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 I mean, look at all this, right?
Ooh,
I mean,
can
what
you
is
go
that?
back to the end of that little loop thing? That's pretty interesting triangle. But right there, up, there, up, right, to the right. There we go. Those islands right in there. Look at these little guys. What's on these hidden little gaffers? I don't
Well, this
believe
thing.
you, Google. I don't believe that's what's there, little Google.
Well, I mean, look at this square around it. I mean, you can even see what's underneath is still poking out the side there.
Yeah. Like, oh no, it's just some ice flow. We just decided to show some ice here.
What's
Don't
this?
worry about it.
Oh, it's a fluorescent island in a black ocean. Wow. Okay, that's scary. Let's get away. it's just dumb. What the hell's this?
Right?
I mean,
Exactly.
what is? I mean, what is that?
Nothing to see here.
Clearly, the base is on this side of the island. And
That's hilarious.
we just don't know, right? This is what all the elites, right? They're all going down to Antarctica and stuff. So what are they doing?
I'm gonna nominate one of those as the new Epstein Island.
Ah, New Epstein Island. Well, do we get to send all the elites there and forget about them?
Yeah, exactly. Only it's in
What we
reverse.
should do, we could put them all there, and then we could rewrite the Antarctic Treaty so it actually just went around that island.
Yeah.
So
No
no
one's
one can
allowed to go there. They're stuck there.
get
And
stuck there. We're not allowed to go and help them, and we get
if we
Antarctica.
find any Patagonian giants, we'll put them on those islands with the elite.
Let's do it. Let's start the war again. This time we'll a bit of a fair fight, right? We'll even up the numbers.
So
Yeah.
2-inch island indeed.
2-inch. Isn't there also there's Janus Islands, one at the north and one at the south, apparently.
Something key about those Janus islands.
Very good. Key to the door, yeah. So the doorway is to the north and the south, right? Janus. Two-faced God, don't trust him. Two-faced. Always changing his mind. Is that what 2-inch? Okay, now I get the 2-inch island bit. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Bunch of don't want no short men. That's what they are, apparently.
Give them the big guys. Give them the Patagonian giants.
Yeah.
Let the predators become the prey.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they like their religions. They obviously like to pray, so let's let them become prey.
Right? I like it.
If anyone is wanting, I shall put that or the stuff in the chat. It is.
So this is the Sphinx that's apparently in the Grand Canyon, and it's by a place called Pyramid Lake, and there's a pyramid on the lake on one side of the lake, and this guy on the other side. Looks pretty sphinxy to me.
It does. It does. There's also one in not
Sophia,
Bangladesh.
Bulgaria,
No, down
Bulgaria,
there. No.
Bulgaria or Romania or something. No,
No.
there's another one there too.
Pakistan. Maybe it is Pakistan.
Yeah. The Pakistan one.
Pakistan.
Yeah, you got it. It is.
Mm.
It's in the one of the breakaway regions that are trying to break away that America's arming in it. Not the Waziristan area, but a different part. I think closer to the India side of it. I'm pretty sure. Anywho, not Kashmir either. It's on the southern part. Anywho, I'll come up with the name next time, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes, I've done a video on it. It's in one of my channels. I have no idea where, but it's somewhere.
Gosh darn!
So I'm going
so much work. We can't even remember what's what anymore.
I know it's somewhere in my 500 plus videos. And I just put a link, starforce.org locations. If you've got Google Earth, or if you don't, you can download it. Click on that link, and it will upload about 1,000 star forts to your Google Earth.
I'm definitely gonna have to do that myself.
Yeah. Oh, is that a Patagonian?
Look at that. That is Sasquatch head.
Yeah, Yeti, man.
This was one of the golden tablets from the Crespi collection. That is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what the Indian looks like. I haven't seen that one though with the head before.
Right? Isn't that something else?
It is. Wow. I wonder if he's a giant then.
Yeah. I think so.
And I mean, how Egyptian-ish is he looking? I mean, he kind of looks half Aztec, half Egyptian, doesn't he?
Yeah. Almost Sumerian-ish.
And the feathers, what is feathers? Why do they all wear feathers? Is it representative of flight, or is there actually something to them?
Yeah, that's a good call. And they usually have them attached to gold and rubies and gems and stuff.
Yeah, and on their heads as well.
Static conduits of static electricity, maybe harnessing it.
We've got 279 of you watching. Wow, thank you for spending some time with us. Tracy, Miss PG, Wendy, Hibby Shake, hello. Yes, I would appreciate, guys. Let's play a game. There's this little thumb, and apparently they've been having problems with YouTube. So if you can just help me, go down, and if you click on the one with the thumb up, just tell me if it changes color. Thank you.
Yeah, well, and I had 50 subscribers disappear on me the other day in a matter of 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
10 minutes.
Nice.
Yeah, and just ridiculous. And then I was talking to Dutch Sense again a little bit, and he said that the post that he put up sharing my channel, someone took it down at YouTube somehow, that they had such a problem with it, and that it caused people to attack his channel, trying to hack it and stuff, because just some weird strange stuff. And it's have you ever had sharing another YouTube channel post taken down? What?
What are you doing, Bernie?
I don't know.
Putting out there, mate. You're making someone nervous.
Apparently, hey?
Yeah, well, I mean, and I think we're getting closer to this point, and we're going to have to start doing it probably with this little stream is, start doing half on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go up to another channel, and then, of course, when we do that, we can not have to censor ourselves. We can talk about whatever we want, but also we can start building up other channels, get away from, because YouTube, I mean,
I love YouTube.
Yesterday they turned off not everyone, but I think 80% of channels got their monetization turned off.
Really?
All their videos went to private and stuff, or went to non-monetized, and I mean, what this is looking a lot like is YouTube is this close to complete collapse. That's what it looks like to me. Is they don't have the money to pay people. They probably pulled that to save themselves, $100 million.
Yeah, exactly.
They can't sell advertising. We've seen the ads they're putting up, right? All these scam ads. That's all they can sell. And because what's happening now is advertisers, they're onto it, and so they're now contacting the creators directly and saying, "Hey, we'll pay you if you make an ad and put it in your videos," and that's going to make, and they're paying good money. That's going to make YouTube ads obsolete. You can literally run 2 ads and make more money than YouTube will pay you for 500,000 views, which means when that goes, there goes YouTube's revenue. Bang, bang, bang. It's just going to fall over. So we need to start building up other streams, and other forms of revenue, right? No glitch. Did it glitch?
Sorry, I had myself muted. I was loading. Just to show quickly before we are done, the Living Alchemy Crystal Bugs section that I recorded with Rex.
Very respectable. You can read the letters that he sent out, and this is this is it right here.
That's crazy. Definitely gonna have to get me some crystal bugs going on.
I mean, you might as well, because you put so much time and effort.
I've like grown out of metals and all sorts of weird different things, and it's like I'm starting with just salt, distilled water, and a couple of like metals, whether it's like zinc, copper, gold, silver, or iron, or a combination of them. And it's like, how the heck do all of these different things manifest out of it?
Yeah, and if you read this, it sounds like what you're talking about. Like I'm reading it.
Someone's
as you're
getting
talking.
attacked by porn
This chapter
bots.
right here. After some months, gelatin enveloped both wires, but in much greater quantity at the positive pole. And in about 8 months from the commencement of the experiment, on examining these 2 wires very minutely by means of a lens, having removed them from the solution for that purpose, I plainly perceived one of these insects upon the gelatinous silica on the silver wire, and about half an inch below the surface of the fluid when replaced in its original position.
Yeah, this is sounding exactly like what I've been doing and coming up with.
Listen to this. Listen to this real quick, and then I want you to take over, brother. In 1837, Andrew Cross reported to the London Electrical Society concerning accidental, spontaneous generation of life in the form of a curious genus insects, while he was conducting experiments on the formation of artificial crystals by means of prolonged exposure nanu to weak electrical current throughout numerous strict experiments under a wide variety of conditions, utterly inimical to the life as we know it. The insects continued to manifest. The great Michael Faraday also reported to the Royal Institute that he replicated the experiment soon afterward. All notice of this phenomenon ceased to be reported, and the matter has not been resolved since then. Resolve it for us, Bernie.
Wow.
Oh my God. That's like the best description I've ever heard of the sort of stuff I've been coming up with and creating on my, and it's
like, have you heard the theory that insects aren't natural? A lot of people saying insects, they suck. Why would God invent all these blood suckers and flying in needles? I mean, maybe they created them in little experiments, right?
Yeah, and back to the homunculus that they claimed he was doing a bunch of the alchemy readings, and like the Hermetic philosophy and Archimedes back in the day, they thought that bugs actually like came out from humans and like to
to create bees, you'd like liquefy a cow, you'd beat it to death and like beat it into a mush, and then it would create bees. And like for like a horse, or if you did it to a horse, then you'd get wasps and like some weird things. Yeah, it was very, very strange stuff.
Crazy, man. Gee, sounds like the same people were ruling back then as are now.
Right?
Same people. All right, well, we've been going for 2 hours and 15 minutes. And how are you going? You're starting to look a little bit tired.
Yeah, definitely.
What's time there? So 1 a.m.? No.
2 a.m. Yeah.
2 a.m. Cool. All righty. So thank you all for joining us. Hope you enjoyed that one. A bit of a look at cathedrals and other stuff. I can't remember what we did.
Episode.
Star Forts. Please give us a like if you haven't. Go down, hit that thumb, make sure it changes color. Go check out his channel. You'll find the link down below. Of course, leave us comments, share this all around. Stay awesome. We'll be back soon. I'll be back on a screen near you Thursday night, and I think Bernie's got stuff coming up before then.
Absolutely. Sure do.
Keep your eyes out, and we shall be around.
Indeed.
So,
with Paul Cook this week. I'll have one with Stellium 7 this week. I should also have one with Benjamin Balderson this week. And also, I think we're doing another one with the Beegs coming up. And for next weekend, I've been talking with Dustin. Bushwhacking history in Buffalo. Good old original Berserker Bear. We could have him on with us for the next episode, which would be awesome. We haven't seen Dustin in a while on this channel.
It's been a while, yeah. And then, of course, we're still working on getting
Jared Booster. Sorry?
Dutch Synth Man himself.
Yes. That actually might be coming up in the next week as well, too. Yes. Good call. So there's like 7.
Joe Rogan in a few weeks, no doubt. We'll be there.
Yeah. Hopefully before the end of 2023, we have our first Joe Rogan experience. Although it won't be my first because I met him in person a couple of times in Vegas back in the day. But
you'll have to tell us.
He was cool, and before
how many Rogans tall is he? You can settle it for us. It's a big internet debate. How many Rogans tall is Joe Rogan? I guess he's one, right?
I was like, one?
Apparently a Rogan, I think a Rogan is like 3 foot, so I don't know.
Oh.
How short is he? Is he really short?
Yeah, actually, I think he's about a foot shorter than me.
A foot? Wow.
Maybe not, but it seemed like that. I was wearing pretty tall shoes but I don't know. They weren't that big.
All right, so we're going to stop rambling, or we'll be here for the next 14 hours and 37 minutes. So thank you for joining us. Stay awesome. Keep your eyes open. Oh, my gosh. We'll be back on a screen near you. And don't forget to go and sign up to OnlyCams. I'm poor. I need the revenue. All right, guys. Love you all. Take it easy. We'll talk to you all on the next upload. Bye for now.
Being autodidactic, the self-educated on what's actually out there.
We're just trying to rediscover, research, remember. With what's gone on in the last few years, it's like, can we really trust the information we've been given about anything? You know, if they're not going to tell us what's good for us, for our mental and physical well-being, then why would they tell us the truth about where we came from? No, because that's the biggest thing, is people don't want to believe they've been lied to. You know, obviously no one wants to be lied to. And then the next bit after that is they would never do that to us. You know, the government loves us, but does it really? Because we trust the science. Like literally, they put on the front for us on their Tell Live Vision, where they have their cast and they do a broadcast from Hollywood with their little holly wands. But it's just a front, right? Just like they'd put on the buildings. It's just a front.
We used their foundations and then covered it with a facade. Catastrophism used to be taught in higher education as the geology. It wasn't the crustal displacement theory, it was catastrophism, and that there was many resets. So we're just starting to put the pictures back together and the maps and trying to add everything up because so much has been deleted.
Tartaria. Where did it come from? What's the real story?
It seems like, and there's a lot of, debate about the word Tartaria, and of course, we use it because, it's a topic, that's the word people know, but it's the old world. But the more we look into this, Tartaria, basically in the old encyclopedia says it was basically the whole northern hemisphere at one point. So it seems that it was not a country as we think of them, but more of a civilization, I guess, where there was independent countries, but they were all sharing the same information and technology and working together. Yeah, and then basically over time, during catastrophes, it got broken apart, and those people who like to take advantage, shall we say, sort of jumped in and stole it all.
It's the same civilization, that same Slavic civilization and technology and whatnot, or group that later was Tartaria and then, I guess, broke apart. It would have been right before the World Wars, right? That would have been the last remnants being wiped out.
The censorship that we see now, that's a book burning. That's just the book burning, but done on the internet.
Burn it.
Time. And the calendars and the dates, they're always flipping calendars around, right? From Julian to Gregorian. We talked about the Slavic calendar being, in the year 7000. We know that Judaism is in the year 5000 somewhere. All these different dates, and we're told we're in the year 2022. But are we? And what does that even mean? Right? How can we be in the year 2022 if someone else is in the year 5000 and something, and someone else is in the year 7000, right?
Right, the grand cycle, and why so many ancient civilizations paid so much attention to it, and measuring the megalithic structures that have lasted throughout all of time. That's the grand celestial calendar to this day. And it's why they're trying to have this great reset yet again right now, because everybody's waking up, so they want to try to erase it all over again.
Don't ever try this at home.